a second late there. And that's a great recovery from Norway, all things considered. And I think particularly Kiki, I don't know how she gets away with that.
It's mad. Like, honestly, like the fact that she was pushed through the A-main smoke, she's even shooting as she's walking through the A-main smoke, and South Africa go, do you know what? You can have that space. We don't care. What was interesting there is the reaction. They took space in towards Heaven. They tried to take space in towards Camera. The key fight was Aurora on Megs. If that goes the other way, that round you assume goes to South Africa.
At least you get the bomb plant and you do remove 4 of the 5, so they're going to invest in nice nades, and Avo goes quickly. Trade is there from Gracie, but Mini standing tall, only can for 1 with the M4. Peekaboo's dropped out middle though. The MP9 not quite connecting, so they are once again able to get into the bomb site and get the bomb down.
There is utility here, and there are defuse kits, but that's now been dropped on the floor. Pixar also swaps to the M4. They're both coming in from dark, and now that information is relayed. It's up to South Africa to make sure that they are tradable. A swing in for Heart Jess, another 1v1, but it still goes the way of Norway, and they've got enough time to defuse.
Oh, that one comes down to the wire again. This has been an explosive start to this series.
But this is what you expect out of South Africa, right? It's high octane, it's aggressive. They will run at you each and every round, and it's about Norway managing this pressure.
Well done by Anakin to come through and get that double at the end to close out the round. Very fast response from Norway at the very least. You know, that's the big thing, right? Peekaboo dropped out of middle immediately. Yes, she didn't get the the results done, but then she had those players coming through A very fast behind her. Now we get the Tech 9s, and I think it's going to be pacey once more. And again, they are finding some success. The trades, you got to praise them. They've been very good for South Africa.
Yeah, and this only favours the T side. You keep going 1 for 1. It's going to keep manipulating this defence. It's going to leave Norway feeling fragile. Straight through dark again. Aurora posted on the angle. Is there another trade? Not this time. A Mini steps in as well. Much better from Norway in the middle portion of the round.
Yeah, Smoke goes a little awry there. I think, they just wanted to try and get the bomb down ASAP, but they needed to be able to trade onto Aurora. She holds strong, and Norway, very quick 3-0, but these rounds have been a lot closer than I think the tale tells. We all see the buy come out from South Africa in full force now. We have the AWP on Gracie. So that's being prioritized very early.
Yeah, despite it being 3-0, right, the money's still pretty weak. Timing shot nearly connects.
Look at this push out B. They just ran straight for it. It's been spotted though, so they don't find the opener. Hardjess and Megs are aware of these players being close. They're holding for anything further.
Look at the instant reaction as well. They've gone straight in towards A here. They think, okay, well, B occupied. We'll put down some utility to try and fight it. That flashbang though was not good enough.
Now they are going to try and contact into A, but they've lost their B players, and so with both of them falling, you think the rotation comes soon. Avro gets 1, but the trade comes, and this time South Africa didn't have players in the right position to help out Avro there. They were a bit disconnected, and Peekaboo is just able to lock it down.
Yeah, that's a really scrappy round from South Africa. That is more of a round of the just sort of occasion getting to them. Because even with that flashbang, you know it's failed. As soon as you've thrown it, you don't need to swing, and then they both commit off the back of it. You can disengage. I think the response was right for them to actually go in towards A main and take that fight. I feel like the whole team needed to go.
Avro's on Fountain. The others two are kind of sitting back in main behind a smoke where they can't trade her.
Yeah, it's that bit, but it's also this bit here where they are at B main. Like they should just be going in towards mid to try and get this split going. They shouldn't have fought B main, and then when you're going in towards A, you're right. They should have been together, and they weren't.
So a little disconnected. Norway weathering the storm. South Africa continue to buy though. They're forced into this with Mac 10s and a Galil. Like they want to pop onto B, and at the moment there are only 2 defenders, so certainly doable. Smoke will come over, Mini will relay this. Drops her own utility in response. Aurora not in the best position with the AWP, but she makes the Tech 9 work, and Mini cleans house with the FAMAS.
Yeah, that again, it's another one of these sloppy mid-round moments for South Africa, because You've seen the utility, the incendiary landing at B main. They want to push it, sure. But if you're going to push it, you've got to go immediately. And then there's that hesitation. Then there is a smoke coming in. But by that point, Aurora can move off from her awkward position into a more favourable one. And suddenly Norway have got a really good crossfire. South Africa this time, we've been praising the trades. They don't get a single one.
Too easy for Aurora.
I think it's interesting that Aurora's AWP.
Yeah, it is and it isn't, because obviously they had Pullux during the qualifiers, right? And she's able to take on a lot of that responsibility. But Aurora is definitely no stranger to the sniper. I think on the Astralis roster, she was all IGLing.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you want anyone to take it over, she's probably the most kind of experienced to be doing it.
That's true.
It's also quite convenient Aurora's on the team, right? Because you lose Pullux and she can kind of take over any of the responsibilities that Pullux had.
Yeah, in-game lead, or she can do it all. Good proactiveness here from Norway, taking this push out towards A main. They're taking the map control back, and this is even with the player advantage. Megs, though, has hit Anakin. That was the bomb nearly escaping. I Heart Jess has also been caught for a leg, but it is Peekaboo to reset, and Aurora will finally find her mark. Norway are in cruise control.
That was like the lightest touch through an orb ever, because she was already really low. Did like 10 damage or something. Was the dominant CT side? Obviously the first few rounds, you know, they were very close, but actually these gun rounds where it's been the slower defaults haven't been working out for South Africa. I guess I'm starting to see how Australia were pushed to their limit here.
I'm surprised that South Africa haven't kept up this pace, because it was the pace that was working, and the trades were really good when they were sort of adding that chaos in. But the moment you are sort of giving any sort of respect and control over to Norway, they're just taking it back for you. Again, we've got this aggressive push. Check out Water. Mini's already pushed.
Gracie misses her opportunity. She's the one that's brought down low. And check out this angle from Mini. She's definitely going to punish Grace when she comes around this corner. But the first frag actually falls in middle. Peekaboo is caught out. There is another player here. But they don't need to progress further. They've got their kill. Another player advantage.
Now it's all up to seeing if you can just hold on to it, because again, look at this aggression. Flashbang good enough to push Mini back. Two players still lie in wait. Aurora's been pushed back off this angle as well, but this smoke will at least keep South Africa at bay for now. The split feels a little bit weak, and they're just going to walk through the smoke. At least there's a trade. There needs to be another here for South Africa, and Avo will find it. A 3-on-2, the first time South Africa had an advantage.
Now they're going to be ready for this double up from Dark though. It's where they entered the site from. They've got decent post plants this time. One player disengages into B main. Avo is watching the cross out. Now you know there's at least one player in Dark. Still a little worried about this second player. That Molotov doesn't quite work out, but it gives them a bit of space to work around. IHUNT just swings through the smoke, and it leaves it now to Megs tucked in. A powerful position. Anakin tries to clear it, but Megs just about takes her down.
Yeah, 5 HP the difference in that round. Norway, you think that they're done for when that molly misses, but instead they just run through it, and Avo is so unprepared. She's not ready for that eventuality. It's good that the B main player at least swings through. Heart Jess get that trade, and now South Africa, they win a round, they take a timeout. They need to calm down.
Yeah, absolutely. I did hear them getting a bit fired up over that round, so, you know, the energy is certainly there. I think it's the team that has a lot of energy, actually. It's kind of like you got Megs on one end, who's like the antithesis of energy. She's like the devourer of energy. There's Goth Baddie, and then on the other, the other four are just pure like sunshine rainbows.
Avo got told off yesterday for screaming too loudly in the other area.
Yeah,
so.
that does check out. They can't tell them off on the stage though. They can be as loud as they like.
I think as soon as sort of South Africa can sort of get any sort of map control, they're doing okay. But Norway are punishing. They're being incredibly proactive. They're sort of trying to disrupt this default, and that will work well against a team that hasn't really got that much official experience like South Africa. Disrupting default, game plan number 1 here for Norway, and it's worked out so far in this first half. That nade looked like it was destined to do way more damage than it did.
feel like I've been misled by nades constantly. Nice boost out, does a lot of damage.
I'm surprised they're still on the boost.
I want to see if they got that repeat.
They might go and try Kiki and test her again over towards A. Because currently with all this pressure in towards mid, that has kept the attention.
Ooh.
Anakin goes searching, but it's a Heart Jess with the headshot.
Interesting, the orb changed hands as well for this round. Again, they found this opening in middle like they did last round. Average just going to lurk. Aurora walks straight in. That's a freebie. Another reposition. Kiki will catch off Avo, but it's costly, and they found a player over towards B. They found everyone. This will be South Africa's second, no doubt. Kiki's just far too low to make this happen.
Yeah, that was Norway this time going searching, and this was South Africa actually being ready for it. Orb goes looking, just gets deleted immediately, and then Avo does really well because what you've seen out of this default from Norway, every single time there is a piece of contact being taken on the map from South Africa, Norway are looking elsewhere, or they're looking to reclaim that space. So it's just a pump on the brakes from South Africa. They're waiting for the mistake to be made. It gets found with Aurora in the mid doors, and from there they can scale. A solid round of CS out of South Africa. They now go back to back.
At least the ult gets recovered. Kiki will hold on to that just about. And yeah, they're not going to hunt into main, so it's something. Still got enough for an investment next round for South Africa after, you know, when you consider how those first 3 rounds went, it's not looking so bad. Now they're starting to build up rounds, but 6 already feels great on the CT side.
Yeah, it does. And I think Norway did really well to actually hold on because their money was being tested. They were being pushed to the limit on a number of those rounds. So the fact they were able to get consistency and they actually came up with a few rounds that looked pretty dominant, that did stabilise their economy. It is still looking shaky now though. On a nice edge, like Norway, they need to pick up this round. Otherwise, South Africa, this first half will look incredibly close.
It's been given up. It's a double play in towards A main. There will be a rotation back from Aurora to cover off that position. Do they dare walk past? Is Aurora going to set up flashbang? She will. Picks up, fully blinded. The spray is converted. Aurora also finds her mark too, so that's 2 players removed immediately.
Look at B. Again, another push out, but Mini overextends. Gracie will hit the shot, and Avo has found Aurora. But Kiki's being really loud about this. Avo just tucks in the corner. Where on earth has Avo got to? She's just lying in wait, and Kiki's punished. Avo keeps on going, but can't get by Anakin. It's a 2-on-2.
They're going straight into Peekaboo with the AWP. She spotted the shadow. That one's free enough. Megs, clean headshot. And this is certainly winnable for her. Anakin's come in clutch a couple of times now already. Megs in the 1v1 has the HP advantage. There's not a kit either. She seems aware of the possibility of the temple play. Tucks into the goblin corner. She'll have all the advantage as Anakin scales out. Oh yeah, she's fully ready for this. And Megs will deliver a 1 versus 2. Another close round, but again, 1 for South Africa.
And that was with Norway getting the player advantages. That was a flash play out
That
towards
was 2K to start
yeah,
it.
3v5. Zarko just converted. Abo at the helm of all of it. Fakes that she's walked through the temple smoke. Actually just tucks in on the left-hand side. Kiki goes searching, gets overwhelmed. It's those 2 kills in mid that cause pandemonium.
I think the biggest problem, on top of obviously Avo, great performance, but Mini pushing out B main when
No
they're in the
need.
5-on-3,
No need.
unnecessary, isn't it?
Completely. But it's at that point, suddenly Peekaboo becomes isolated. And sure, she grabs 1 kill, but you know Anakin's in mid. You know that it's an AWP, so you can just swing her and grab the trade. Well played from Megs. And that was the important round as well. We're speaking about it, about the economy. Suddenly, you got no money here if you're Norway.
South Africa can get a reasonable haul on this T side. And Molly goes a little off the mark. They're looking to group up towards A. Tends to be more lightly defended. Kiki is close in main. Does have Peekaboo sliding in. And Kiki gets a double up with the 5-7.
Oh dear.
2 headshots immediately. She had no armor either.
That's not ideal, but at least South Africa are going to reset back in. There's not a smoke. There's a couple of pieces of utility. Anakin dropping, at least Gracie's holding for it, and then the Deagle can't follow up on site.
Good recovery. critical frags from Gracie. Finding that first one and then dropping, being ready for the dropping player.
That's one thing I've got to praise South Africa for continuously. It's when something happens on the map, they're not static. They are a little bit more proactive, but Kiki has found Gracie. It's all been Kiki in this round. Can she clutch up for her team? I Heart Jess has just moved over towards Temple. This crossfire now becomes really difficult to break, but Kiki will try and silence them. Creech around the corner, but it is that reposition that gets South Africa the round. That bails them out.
Yeah, really well played there in the post line. I mean, it's always a long shot with no hate, no armor, and just the recovered AK. Kiki, a good round from her. Considering what was invested, I can't believe she gets that double up with the flashbang that goes into A main to deal with that exact position.
She was full blind.
Outrageous. The 5-7, pretty strong. Some would say too strong.
Buff the CZ.
That's what I'm saying.
Look at this. Talk about aggression. Guns come back out for Norway, and this is where they got that double opener last time, pushing out B main. They're taking all of this space. If you're Mini, you should be rotating in to help Kiki, because South Africa, they can only go one way.
Yeah, it's pretty clear this is the destination. They do have presence in dark, that is kind of the one counter. Good Molotov will slow down this push. It's just an exchange of utility, but they don't have to commit to this. They're actually going to go back.
This time is really interesting, because if they go right now, they're going to miss Peekaboo in towards mid. At least you can reset in from B main.
Lovely.
It all depends how far Pixar commits on A. And yeah, you're right, loud enough, they know.
Yeah, Jess is fully aware of this position. She knows she's got two locked in here. And I think with that information and with her presence in dark,
They can reset again.
yeah, they can reset again. Norway don't really know what's going on. It could go either way, and that kill is everything. However, Peekaboo's continue to push. Pixar catches Kiki, going for the info play. South Africa can now collapse on A.
Yeah, but Norway just keep overextending. But Mini this time is trying to be the answer, but runs out of bullets in the magazine. How much time does this burn off the clock? What's happening here? How is Mini alive? How is she doing this? Another one from Mini! And suddenly, the round's completely turned on its head. Gracie 1v2, but can't get by Aurora. Somehow, some way, Norway have won that round.
How do you let that happen, South Africa?
The nade bounced off the brick. It went backwards. If it goes forwards, she's dead.
Standing in the open and she runs out of bullets. She re-swings to finish the job, and no one is ready.
I don't know.
I can't believe that.
Against all odds.
That's a 3v5 converted from Norway.
And I
Goes
was
the other way.
about to go in so hard on Norway there as well. I can even picture
You still
Vendetta
can
in the
go hard
green room
because
just
that was
wiping
just
sweat
Mini
off
getting
his
a 4K and South Africa fumbling the bag.
It was so individual, Lucy. Like,
Yeah.
it's actually ridiculous how individual that round was. They rightfully got punished, and yet they still win the round. I can't believe it. And now, with that, it's still not going to dissuade South Africa. Last round in the first half here, they thought about going A, and they back off again.
A lot of moving pieces. Norway just running back and forth based on what South Africa's doing.
I cannot believe that round.
It's shocking, isn't it? Nice kill from Aurora. She will get split upon though. Jess did get very close. Brandon, you just yanked my headset. My head got pulled to the side.
Unlucky.
But this one is looking a lot better for South Africa. They managed to find kills on either bomb site, which gives them all the options. And Abo, after finding Kiki, will just walk straight into A. So we should be seeing a fifth. They surely can't let this one slip.
No, they shouldn't. Behind the scenes with B-Dog is that I got my chair stuck on my wire. It wasn't my wire, it was Lucy's. Sorry.
Yeah, thanks.
I moved it now. It's all good. Of course, Norway will go for this. Final round of the half, and Avo finding Anakin, Mini. Can she repeat the same heroics? For South Africa's sake, I hope not. Flashbang forward at a swing. They are sort of giving it to her. That's 2 kills back already. And she's got a lot of utility. Diffuse kit still in play. And for Avo and for Gracie, it's a question of not peeking her. Gracie will go first, but it's Avo to lock it in. South Africa will get their fifth.
Okay, sigh of relief, guys. You're able to get that one over the line. What a half from I Heart Jess. Really phenomenal performance from her. Not the player I necessarily thought would be kind of at the top of the board, but she does have I guess, some experience now, having been part of the championship squad at the African Esports Championship. But Mini. We kind of put her as, probably one of the stronger players on this Norwegian team alongside Aurora, and, well, she did get that 4K. I don't want to downplay it.
I have no idea how she got that
But
4K.
it wasn't, you know, I wouldn't call it beautiful Counter-Strike.
I'd call it one of the 4Ks of all time.
Yeah, it certainly was. I mean, to be fair, I would say the after the first kill, those 3 kills were actually all well handled.
Should have been traded.
But the trade should have been there at any point, especially when she's wide swinging to do with the players scaling heaven.
Good recovery is what we can say for South Africa.
Yeah, they could have won the half, though.
This was 6-0. Yes, there were some close rounds in the first couple, but this was 6-0. And they do recover it to 7-5. The issue is, it's everyone's favourite cliche, oh, it's Anubis. CT side is not that good.
Yeah, it is interesting, though, because I feel like we do see in these sort of tournaments in particular that it doesn't always follow the meta in terms of that distribution.
Yeah, agreed.
However, also in these sort of tournaments, we definitely see T sides often being stronger. So
Also true. It's one of those as well where I feel like that narrative is actually kind of stale now because sure, statistically it is sort of going that way. It is still going that way, but I think teams have figured out sort of how to play Anubis.
Mm-hmm.
And the proactivity you saw out of Team Norway, you're going to be seeing that again out of South Africa. They will be pushing, that they will be trying to force the issue.
It was their T side that was stronger versus Australia. It was 5-7 halves exchange that went OT. So you do anticipate that the T side's going to have some bite to it, and they look to bite onto B. It's a bit of a more passive hold. They fall back seeing them coming, but can't quite hold against Mini and Aurora. The trades are good for the T side. They'll have the advantage. Rotation is going to be late from Pixar. Megs has let them know her presence. And Aurora just doesn't need to give this fight over, and she does. This gives an opportunity for South Africa.
It does, but I think you know where both of these players are, especially where you're in B main. Megs has just fired off a shot, so you know one's in CT, one's in con. They try nice. Why? Why are you swinging Megs like that? 2 kills back to back, and they've got the kit. Norway have fumbled the bag.
Meggy Weggy, what a deliverance! Those were some snappy shots!
What is going on though? What is this trade spacing though?
Okay, no. Alright. They swung after each other. Megs just flicked their heads. Watch this back. This isn't that bad. I think, look, Kiki's pretty quick on
Insane.
it. But Megs, that's a one tap.
It is insane, but again, it's that the criticism comes from Aurora pushing dark.
True. That was she wanted the info, but it was the wide swing, right? It's giving over that kill. 3 clean headshots.
That's payback. That's payback from round 1, where it felt like South Africa should have won that first round pistol, and it was snatched away from them by Norway.
Can they do what Norway did to them and hold strong against the force buy?
That's the key issue here. And now with Norway pushing mid, they try and make inroads in. Gracie, the only defender here, playing incredibly passive, has got a nade out, forcing the fight forward, but it's Pixar that deals with Anakin.
Gracie needs to be careful in middle. There's 2 players ready to put the pressure on her. They're scaling quickly. She calls over Jess to help her out, and she needs it. Both of them find their frags.
Oh, finally, some resistance. Kiki and Mini will at least get kills back,
no.
and there's another one. This is completely fallen out of favour. The issue is the bomb, and if you can see it on the map, it is really close to Pixar, but Pixar doesn't know this yet. So Norway disengage. They are being quite loud about this. Pixar should hear this.
She's going to hear both of them, most definitely. They know what's going on now, so you anticipate that Jess can now relocate to A. Pixar's position, can she catch them off? They're going to be going over towards Ruggs, and she's calming this. All comes down to the timing, but yeah, perfect backstab. Mini in the 1v2 does have 1v1s that she can take. Jess will swing into the corner, and she can't convert. They leave the bomb back despite getting those 3 entry kills into the bomb site. They're so loud going back to pick up the bomb that all the info is in the hands of South Africa.
Gracie plays that perfectly. Low HP, needs to make sure that she does get that target selection correct, and she needs to make sure that she doesn't peek until they give away the sound cue. It gets scary when Minnie's put in that 1v2 because of how good she's been at sort of isolating these kills. South Africa are giving her these 1v1s on a silver platter.
And they're low HP as well.
But they do get it over the line. That's the important thing. That's one of these hurdles overcome. And their reward, an eco.
Okay, South Africa should be able to get themselves in the lead for the first time on this map. Is this the pick of Norway?
That's true.
Oh. NT.
Can't boost them all.
Gotta go past Jess if you want to go through middle.
There's no util here for Anakin. I thought there may have been a flash or something to sort of get I Heart Jess off the angle, but instead she just takes her kill and she falls back. It's very safe out of South Africa.
Yeah. Jess. Oh, she collects 2 more. She's been on fire. I've been so impressed.
20 kills.
She will be digged, but... Oh, the block. Oh my god. You can hear them. I can just hear them yelling about blocking the M4. Guys, there's an M4 there. Come on.
Stop it. Get it together.
Yeah, Norway need to get it together. That's why they call the timeout.
They have got their coach here today.
Yeah, I wasn't here yesterday.
No. Arrived very early this morning. We've been seeing this a lot from teams, and I know that they're mixes, and a lot of them here are mixes, and they do play with Team CS, but where are the executes?
It's so weird, isn't it?
I know we haven't had a gun round yet, but I'm surprised we've not seen any executes.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I think South Africa have kind of executed into the A site. It's not been like an out the gate call, but they've done like the late round ones with all the utility and the like, so they do have it in their back pocket, and I anticipate on their map pick we'll definitely see it more. But yeah, will Norway bring out anything like that, or is it going to be very defaulty?
We'll have to see. For the moment, it looks like they're pushing it towards middle. Trying to take the space, the spam as a disguise to get Aurora by the doors.
Yeah, she just slips in. Very cheeky. Gotta be careful clearing this, but... Oh, they don't walk around the corner. Aurora surely is poised for success.
Yeah.
Gracie's got no clue that a player is here. She's been silent for so long. This is a guaranteed frag.
Timing.
Oh, the timing. The timing. No, it's fine. Gracie didn't clear. So Aurora gets an opening kill. She scales quickly, but will be traded.
And that's immediate, but that's not the true intent of this round. They want to split in towards B here. That smoke completely isolates the entire squad into Mini, and Mini will now become aware of it. Anakin is here too, but the double setup. Avo finds one, needs the multi, gets the help from Heart Jess. So it is still a 2 versus 2.
The problem is Avo went down before Jess was able to help out, so, and with the re-smoke, it's really tricky. Pixar's going to be the pivotal player, and in fact, Touch is just going to completely reroute all the way around. She has a long journey to get towards main. That's cutting precious seconds off this clock. Pixar's not even started looking yet. I feel like she needs to start making moves.
They have got util though. And where Heart Jess has been so loud, she just went out the fight. Suddenly it is Kiki in the 1v2, aware of CT, and now she knows this last player is low HP and in towards B main and can just play with the clock. Kiki locks it in with the kill.
I don't know. I mean, I know Pixar's not the most experienced player, but okay, yeah, she plays waits for Jess, but she just runs into the bomb site there, not clearing back, and Jess had already kind of looked towards the right, so like, by order of operations, there's not many places that this last player can be. That one feels like a slight fumble.
It's been a game full of fumbles.
And it's an unfortunate timing as well with the dropout middle. It's like a second too late to save Avo. If that kill goes the other way, it's probably South Africa's round 2 because they have 3v2.
And it's one of those as well where both players are locked out of dark, so it's not like Avo can get a kill and fall back through the smoke because Kiki had already got the site for Norway.
Ooh, chance here.
A lot of damage.
This is actually just a half buy as well. The money was completely reset early, but the push is good! Megs connecting with the pistols. And look at the damage done to Aurora. This is very winnable.
Yeah, all South Africa need to do is just disengage here.
They've lost B.
They don't need to overplay their hands. Yes, they've lost B, but they can still group together and trade. They've got the player advantage. If you're in the player advantage, all you need to do is trade.
They've been so loud, so Aurora is coming over everything she's hearing, but it still puts a lot of pressure onto Peekaboo, this newest addition to the squad who has to bring the bomb in. The smoke will land. So they can scale successfully, and you feel once the bomb goes down, there is a kid on Pixar, so it's not out of the realms of possibility.
There's no flash, though. That's the difficult thing. If there was a flash here that goes over CT and the players outpour through this smoke, that's a different story. But Norway have been known to sort of give these individual fights over. First one, looming. And it's Avo not connected on the Deagle, but there is that trade. They still go for it. Pixar's found another. Kiki low HP versus 3. They come round the corner, and it's South Africa to eco again.
Yeah, nice retake from Pixar this time. A bit of redemption with the double up with the 5-7. Beautiful round. That decision just to take that space out of A main, just the contact push, right? Norway is sitting back. They know that they might be against the light of ice. They don't want to take any chances. They play passive. And in fact, that gives South Africa the room.
It's almost as if they're playing too passive, to be completely honest, because you've got one player that's over at Rugs that should be holding for the A main push. That's why the Stairs player's not peeking. They're so tunnel visioned in on dark because they think they've got that coverage, and they don't.
Now the pendulum swings the other way.
Yeah, it's actually ridiculous the way this game is going. It is so back and forth, you cannot call it.
I think the thing is, in that first half, it felt like South Africa actually had buys consistently.
Oh dear.
That's not so great.
Another in. Look at the right-hand side as well. Yeah, Kiki's found Megs.
They're finding their way into this B side quite consistently. Saying how this was just the half five, it looks like Norway are poised to find success off it.
I think they should be saving here, South Africa. I don't think this is worth it. Losing all these guns, potentially losing the AWP.
There's this flank in the back lines.
There is a kill. But only one.
They're done for. There's push through Temple.
Yeah.
The save is too late now as well. I don't think Crazy gets away.
Oh.
Oh, that almost.
That looked like a headshot.
Yeah, you know, we'll give it to her. That's a headshot, Crazy. Run though, the bomb's gonna explode. Get out of there.
You need to get out of there. There we go. She will at least save an all.
She's got 3 HP.
She's fine.
Okay,
she's fine.
yeah.
It's Anubis.
Okay, I got a little stress there.
So I'm looking at money, right? Gracie can drop, Megs can buy, Avo can buy. So it's still okay. It is
that
the
one
end of the
player
world.
saving actually makes a huge difference.
Yeah, I can't believe one player just means that they can have this full buy. It surprises me. I thought if they saved 3 there, obviously they're incentivized after they get the nade kill, but
yeah, they lose util, that's kind of the downside.
You want to future-proof things. It feels like all these players are just living in the moment. And of course, that's good short-term, but when it is back and forth like this, it's only going to favour Norway.
I'm glad we're getting a really competitive affair, though. I wasn't sure what to expect. Obviously, we know South Africa is quite solid. Can they hold against the fast play into A? They have bodies here. There's a lot of Molotovs landing, a lot of players seen. Jess will stand tall. Gracie does fall. This double up, switching to the USP. It's bold, doesn't quite work out. They've done a lot of damage. And it's another rotation from Heaven.
Are you ready for this flank? Look at how fast Avo is going. She's even pushing through her own smoke. Peekaboo gives it a cursory glance, and that allows Megs to come round the corner. It's South Africa that get double digits first.
Yeah, what a response from South Africa there. They just swarm the bomb side as Norway try and converge on it. They don't even allow them to get the bomb down. You enter the A site, you think you've got this fast play. At most, you're going to have 2 defenders there, right? You'll have the A anchor and you'll have maybe a player that's playing camera.
Yeah,
There's 3 players there, and then the 4th just appears through Heaven. You got this fast flank. Got to praise how quick they responded.
And even if it wasn't Megs, it would have been Avo. That was still scary. That reminds me a lot of the mini round, where, again, it's individual peaks, but it's one player rising to the occasion. This time, Norway injects a bit of pace. Mini going fast, but not getting by Avo. At least there's a trade. And once again, B looks compromised.
Yeah, Avo stands tall for 1. She has been struggling in that dark position. Good Molotov forces Gracie back. B is definitely the hole right now. The A defense, no question about it. Jess has been phenomenal over there. And she's over here too. She will be removed by Kiki. The Pixar catches the lurk. So it's an advantage for South Africa, but they don't have a lot of HP.
Yeah, Kiki's got to win this fight right now. She's got to swing and take advantage of this because now she's been thrown into the clutch. She's now got the HP advantage as well, but where is Megs? Last known, in towards CT, a drop of the smoke. And Megs looks to push forward again. It all comes down to this. Kiki on the angle, but can't get the best of Megs. Another clutch going the way of South Africa.
Oh, Megs has been so good in these moments. Multiple rounds delivered from her. That's that experience shining on the stage. 2 HP is what that comes down to.
That's surprising, because she was so low. Kiki had the advantage. I think she even saw the shadow, and it's still not enough.
Well played from Megs though, right? Dribbling the smoke forward to put that, doubt in Kiki's mind that she could be walking around that, could be getting onto the bomb, and then she just walks close on the left. It's not the expected position, even though Kiki starts to think, okay, maybe this is where she's going to come from. By that point, Megs is already there.
We've seen it a number of times already in this second half, but a lot of praise has got to go on to South Africa for how quick they've been at reacting.
Hutchess has 26 kills.
Yeah, but she had like 20 of them in the first half. It's actually been like a lot of the other guys really stepping up. Had crucial rounds out of Avo with the holes in towards Dark, rounds out of Megs back to back. We've even had that Gracie moment. Like, you've got a lot of them.
Pixar with a double 5-7 kill.
In that last round, it was Pixar as well that was quick to react, pushed out A main and locked off Dark.
Yeah, caught that lurk timing. We do get the buyout from Norway. South Africa, for the first time, actually have more than 1 round lead. You've got to be ready to defend this B bomb site. Do you want to beat Kiki again? She's just holding for this.
It looks like you do. Nate going forward, but Kiki this time will get revenge. This game has been great to watch as a neutral because it just consistently feels like both teams are making these little mistakes that are just evolving into absolute chaos.
Norway don't commit off this kill. They slow it down, waiting to see what South Africa's response is. They are going to split B. Dark control established with relative ease.
What?
For a moment, Avo will get the kill, but they're in the open and they can't stand against it.
Yeah, that looks better from Norway. They pause, they slow down because they are anticipating a reaction, and it does come, but this time from the B players in itself. And where they're just so far out in the open, you can just get that quick double swing. So it will be a save. They will concede the chance to try and retake. Norway re-enter, breathe in distance. And with the way the money is, this game is far from over yet. There's no need. Again, no need.
I mean, Jess isn't losing many duels, so, she doesn't feel too bad going for the peak. One round game, and yeah, look at the money. Oh. Do they force this?
It has to be. It's first round loss, right? So you have to force this. If you don't win this, suddenly it's 11-11, you're eco and you're playing for OT. That's how fine the margins have been all game long. It makes sense to invest in here.
Gonna do it. I mean, they did a lot when they had that half buy.
But they were the ones being proactive, and in the last couple of rounds, they've been pretty reactive. So if they suddenly switch up the pace now, I think Norway will be prepared.
Conceding Dark, they're playing closer to main this time.
Yeah, I'd prefer a third player there. I'd prefer a gamble stack, especially in a round like this, where you're almost throwing cautious to win anyway, but it's a different variance.
What's going to be the play here? That Molotov misses the mark, I think. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Jess, in the open, the smoke fade. She's not ready, but she still takes down one, and a dink onto the other. That was the M4, and it's not recoverable now. It gets thrown forward. A flash out. Pixar can't quite find a target. And Megs has been caught. That was over at B main.
Yeah, this is interesting now as well, because for Norway, you've got that kill. You just feel like you want to reset. Avo has always been playing over towards Dark, and this time hard cleared, but not confirmed. And when it comes to the kill, and look at the drop down in towards mid. Avo this time has held Dark, and it has to be Kiki, and it's all Kiki. 2 quick headshots, and you know Pixar was the A main player.
How's she done that then? She's quietly got the 20 kills, the 3K in that round. It looked like South Africa had done everything right in Dark. But Norway are quickly leaving them in their shadow. Pixar has a good timing here. Remember, Peekaboo is incredibly low. Has the kit. There's that first kill, but where has Kiki got to? Surely with this plant position, It's got to be in towards CT. Kiki fires off the shot, reveals herself, and it's Pixar that clutches it out. All the hard work of Kiki, and they can't convert.
Yeah, and that is them planting for CT, trying to take the space out deep. But again, why is one player being isolated on the site, low HP or not? I just feel like they've got to go together there. Another one of these crucial late round decisions resulting in one team stealing away the round for the other. And suddenly, from absolutely nothing, South Africa have got 2 map points on Norway's map pick.
What a round. South Africa, they forced into that. They had the 1M4. Jess does her best work with it. Avo's quick thinking when the dark play comes, the drop out middle.
You got to feel for Kiki as well.
She
because
does so much
everything,
work.
Everything.
3 kills, the opener on B to let herself in, and then the double up at dark, a snappy second shot.
And now look at this reaction. We spoke about the free B play in the round prior. This time they've got it, and they've even got the boost up for Gracie to get an off angle on Kiki, and it's punished.
Opening kill for South Africa. Norway threatening middle this time and has been conceded. Very passive hold over towards the A site.
It's the passive responses that have really been working well for South Africa. You're almost putting pressure on Norway in their entirety to make something out of nothing.
This next play is going to come through middle. They've managed to cross over. There was a timing there, just fell back. But this is calmed over. You can see the rotation comes from Gracie to cover off Temple, make sure they haven't stuck through. Aurora looks to walk in. Can't quite convert onto Pixar. Wide swing though does do the damage. Now you know where this final player is. Mini wins her fight. Pixar still standing, but only for a moment. Gracie very fast through Temple. Bomb's calling B though.
This is just so quick. Again, you know that there's going to be an over-rotation here from South Africa, so Norway are playing it well. 30 seconds left, they can take it into the site. The issue is the afterplant, because you've got no utility, and Megs is already here, nearly lines up both of them, instead gets rid of Mini. Bomb, not yet committed, and Anakin's only on a Mach 10.
Yeah, she wants to see if she can isolate one of these fights, but she goes around that corner. There are 2 CTs waiting for her.
Time.
Doesn't have the luxury of it. We'll just commit for the default plant, get the money at the very least, but she's going to get run down. There's no way to go. They're already circling around, almost wins it out. But it's Gracie that converts, and South Africa call it an upset. They've taken Norway's map pick.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that was an incredible map of Counter-Strike, because you feel like both of these teams are making so many little errors that are amounting into drastic ramifications for each other. That was a 6-0 start for Team Norway. It was 5 rounds only on the T side for South Africa, and yet they come back. They show determination, and for Norway, they are 1 map away from being eliminated.
What an unbelievable opening map. That might be the best map we've had so far here in this tournament. What an exciting back and forth. South Africa, yeah, well, it's such a slow start.
Yeah.
Those rounds were so close. You thought, okay, it's going to be a bit of this, right? At the very tail end, they're going to lose some of these crucial rounds. It's going to fall apart. But no, the resilience, I think, was the most important thing. Obviously, Jess had a phenomenal map, but you got to praise Pixar, you got to praise Megs, you got to praise all of the other players for stepping up in that second half when they really needed to get it over the line.
That's the important thing. And then for Norway, you've got Mini that was immaculate on the first half. Then you've got Kiki doing everything in her power. The thing is, it was just individuals, where for South Africa, it felt like a collective team. Alan, do you agree?
Certainly do, Brandon. A great showing from South Africa there towards the end. That second half, though, lads, is carnage the only word that, that correctly describes it? Because the first half felt sane, the second half, not so much. That was madness.
Yeah, no, it was full-on mayhem, and a lot of it comes down to South Africa's very, very quick rotations, and I guess their eagerness to kind of explore and be proactive in mid-rounds, et cetera, when they think they have a good read on what Norway is doing. And you could tell it caught Norway off guard. Even though they would get into a site, they never really seemed to be prepared for either an early rotation coming in from behind or just a very quick attempt at a retake. So you ended up in a lot of chaotic situations, especially around dark, whether it's through like the rotations coming from A on the South African side, or whether it was dropping down from bridge towards dark, etc. Yeah, it didn't really matter the fact that Norway got into afterplant situations, because they never really seemed to have a good grip of where South Africa were retaking from.
it was actually a really slow start from South Africa as well. 6-0 down at one point. We thought this was going to be an absolute blowout. Honestly, with how this game started, South Africa were going for a bunch of these set rounds, trying to take sides quickly and just getting shut down. But it felt like on that T side, at one point they adjusted and they started taking that mid control. And that caused so many issues for Norway. You saw the mid control start to come in, and then even sometimes Norway would go aggressive through B, and they just wouldn't know what to do with that because they realized they'd lost mid and the rotations between the sites became really difficult. And there were so many clutches as well. I think Megs herself maybe won like a couple. It was actually ridiculous, some of the clutches for South Africa, but it kept them in the game just long enough to go into that second half.
Speaking of a ridiculous round,
Yes.
I have no idea how she just like had immunity from these AGs to survive that. She's 28 HP when 2 AGs comes flying at her, and she comes out with 3. Absolutely insane. And this was at a point where, as you said, South Africa was starting to kind of figure things out. They were starting to basically abuse mid a lot more. They were trying to, well, they were basically able to kind of get Norway split, especially because a lot of the aggression that we saw from Norway didn't really lead to something. And that's something that actually gave them the advantage in the first half. They would get aggressive, be proactive, find a pick, and play off of it. But as soon as they couldn't find that opening, they seemed a little bit lost. Whether or not they had somebody actually clearing out, the outer areas of B, they didn't really play it, like have the rotations off of it necessarily to actually strengthen up A or strengthen up towards mid in time for it to actually punish South Africa. So that was a really good job for South Africa. A little bit lackluster from Norway's end. And then obviously going into the second half, I felt like it was a lot of, a lot of unnecessary situations that Norway's put themselves in just once they get into a bomb site. Also, I think something that Brandon kind of alluded to as well during the broadcast, we haven't really seen a lot of full executes. And I get it, it's harder to do necessarily. It's easy to play off of instinct and kind of just play off the flow, see if you can find openings here and there on the outer edges of the maps and so on. But it also does put you in a position where you can just kind of lose out a duel and have nothing to show for it. It's like maybe you've done a little bit of damage. Nobody's going to be able to work off of that when you're playing as separated as you do. So I would have loved to see more executes coming out from Norway in that sense. And yeah, it felt like whatever their game plan was, it kind of felt like it went away from them as the game got further into the second half.
Yeah, weirdly, this is a map where it kind of feels like Norway were the only ones that actually had full control at any point early on in the map, and then it just resolved into all these really close rounds for a lot of them. But South Africa just had all the big moments in a lot of those rounds. They had a lot of the big multi-kills, they had a lot of the clutch rounds, and that was surprising me because when we first saw this game start, I thought maybe South Africa were actually a little nervous, a little shook being on the stage, or maybe just a little nervous that this is such an important game that they have to win. But they actually came through towards the end, and maybe it was just that initial round win. I think we heard a bit of celebration, we heard a bit of a release from them, and they just got into the groove of it. Because by the end there, I saw Avo getting up and dancing after round wins. She got really comfortable really quickly, which is great to see. And I think from the Norway side, you're probably looking back on this map and kind of wondering how you lost. It felt like almost all of the clutches, so many went against them, and that's going to be tough to look back at because now they've got a lot to do to actually stay in this tournament.
Yeah, I think so far we've had games where we've said, you lost the map, and you can leave this map still feeling good about yourself, or you've had a positive showing it type of thing, or you were never meant to win this type of ordeal. That cannot be said for Norway in this one. It's more like you had this in the bag. You were 6-0 up on the CT side, the harder side of the map, and from there on out you're able to lose your own map pick. You're not going into map number 2 having a great feeling about how you're meant to do it. You should be 1-0 up in their heads, and they have to put that thought aside. But that's much more difficult to do than the other scenarios we've had previous in the tournament. So I'm curious to see how they're going to deal with that.
So what do we think Norway was lacking in this map? Was it strong voices on the CT side to get out of? They were getting a lot of info on the sides of the map. It was losing mid, not rotating correctly, whatever, being on the wrong bomb sides, getting caught in transition. Was it the anti-half buys in the second half that they seemed to lose on repeat, lost the game? Was it clutches? Was it just communication in general? What fell apart here for Norway? Because reflection on that game, they had all the pieces to win it.
I think one of the very grating things that stood out to me was how they dealt with their anti-ecos, as you mentioned, the fact that they lost 2 of them at crucial points in the second half. But it's also something about how they actually shift positions from one side of the map to the other once they've maybe found a pick or something, and then they want to move the majority of the team over to that bomb site. They're rotating not necessarily without noise, which is one thing, but obviously like you want to hit a timing, that's all fair and good, but you also have to be aware of with how active South Africa were about rotating as well, you kind of have to be open to the opportunity that they are going to be on quick backsteps, and oftentimes we'd see Norway just kind of have like blinders on, full focus on the bombs that they're going to, and not necessarily caring too much about what's coming potentially from behind. And I think they got punished for it on multiple occasions, which is a bit of a shame. So you'd love to see kind of, I guess, not as much carelessness when it comes to their rotations and how they actually move about on the map in mid-rounds, and I think that's going to do a lot for them just by focusing on that.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if Norway are one of the most momentum-based teams here, just because they were a somewhat last-minute replacement coming in. And I also think coming into this, we kind of saw, like, as that second half went on, it just felt like they maybe just didn't have the solutions. And I think that might be something we see from this team going forward, which could be a little scary for them. I do have to say as well, though, Heart Jess, we have to give her a lot of props. She was incredible.
She was
Nearly a 30 bomb, I think, by the end, just consistently putting up the numbers. She was probably the difference alongside some of those clutches for South Africa.
Last point before we throw this. Next map is Mirage. Norway got battered by Australia when they played it yesterday. Are we primed for a 2-0?
Again, not much knowledge on how South Africa plays their Mirage. Again, as a personal Mirage hater, I never like feel good about like whatever team I'm I guess like rooting for in this case. Obviously, a little bit of bias towards Norway. I don't feel good about going into Mirage as a potentially like map to save your life in any sort of scenario. So yeah, it's difficult to say if they're going to be basically caught out in situations like they were on Anubis. I think the opportunities for that to happen on Mirage are like tenfold. There's like so many awkward timings that you can run into that just feels like you might have a round under control, and there's like you let go of Palace for half a second and somebody like slips out, and that's like 2 entries on an opening site, or you went to check window and in that meantime somebody snuck up connector, now like everything's out of order, and that can happen in so many areas of the map on Mirage that I think that could be like a disaster for Norway if they can't like shore things up. But I know they like personally to play this map over everything else in the map hole.
Yeah, they're going to need a big reset here for sure, but I also think the other scary thing is Mirage is a map where, especially on A, you are going to get into those post plants. And so many of those post plants just seem to shift towards South Africa for whatever reason, whether it was comms, whether it was just the pressure starting to get to Norway, I don't know, but that is something they have to very quickly reset from, and I'm worried. If they get a slow start, I'm really worried. They seem like a team that are just very reliant on, if the mood is up there, they're going to be good. If not, I don't know, they might start to stress and they might start to struggle.
Ooh, scary times then for Norway. Mirage to follow in this series. Lose this and they're going home. Quick break, and then Lucy and Brandon take you through that one. We'll see you then.